Yeah, I was working on my welder, this cheap Chinese welder I got. It had a high rating. I bought it a long time ago, brand new, and I found out it was busted. There was several things on it busted. And basically got it working. I did some videos on this before, but the one thing I couldn't get was the wire feed, and I bypassed it with some batteries. But then I went online and I was reading. I'd probably be able to fix this, but I'm going to get a Hobart if... But in the meantime, I'm going to use this because I don't use this too much. But what I found out is the wire feed motors, I don't know if they're 12 volt, 6 volt. I figured they're more than 6 because I put a 12 volt battery. Then I found out they're 24. So this was working okay even with a 12 volt battery. And what I did was I wired it up inside directly like that. See? It's in there directly. It goes in through the back, and I actually put another controller over here. I just bought an extra heavy duty one, and it's just wired in direct. So I don't even have to have this plugged in. What I do is I hook up the battery, and this is 18 volts now. You hear a click? That's on, right? See that? Wire feed works, and I could slow it down. See that? When you disconnect it, nothing happens. So it only works off the battery. And these are easy to charge up. It's 12 volt and 6 volt. Then I didn't know if the gas solenoid in this thing worked, but I found out it did by reading up online what it is. You can tell. This is actually a MIG welder. It's not just a flux welder. I got the stuff for it. And what I'm going to do is get the 125 cubic foot tank. I'm going to put a bracket in the back of this. This is a hand truck. I'm going to have it on the back of that. So this will be like my welding cart, and use that plastic to cover the whole thing up. And I was going to get it 80 or 125, but 125 is very typical. So it's about $63 to fill it versus an 80 is $48 to fill it. It's more economical to get a 125, yet it's still not so super heavy. It's a little under 60 pounds full. You can still move it around. So, but I just want to show you what to listen for if you're wondering if the solenoid works. Because actually what broke on this damn thing, it wasn't a trigger, it wasn't anything wire loose. It could be a relay. Actually, I tried messing around with this for a while and I couldn't figure it out, but I tried replugging in everything, but I got it all jumpered up back here, and this is my new wire control. It's just that I don't know how fast I'm turning it, making it go, but I can pretty much tell. So, I really can't use this damn speed thing here, wire feed 2, 3. One of these days I might get it figured out, because I am one of these type of people that I just hate freaking not being able to figure something out. So I'll probably figure it out eventually, but in the meantime I got it working pretty good. But just to check for that solenoid, I'll tell you what it sounds like. So anyway, just move this out of the way here and turn it on. This was something else it didn't do before, but now it works. Here it comes on. Hear that? When I'm pulling the trigger. That should be your solenoid working. So I'm going to get the tank for it and start welding the right way with the MIG welder. So the only thing I got to worry about is I can't tell what the hell kind of speed I'm on with this damn adjustment with this thing. It's kind of like that's off and that's fully on, and actually that's only about 7. But I can kind of tell. Because it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on. Like, I'll basically be welding on the El Camino 16 gauge, regular steel, 75 is 25, so it's going to be right around 4. So that's probably going to be not quite all the way up on my 18 volt system, but actually those wire feed motors, I think they're 24 volt. So I don't need to have it go all the way up, so I'll have it backed off just a hair. So it should work. It should work. So I'm going to be getting some MIG gas here this week or next week, probably next week. And a 125 tank seems to be about the best thing. Man, I've seen so much crap online where people are getting 20 tanks, 20 cubic feet. When this thing runs, it does about 25 cubic feet a minute. So you got less than an hour welding time, but what a tank that's 20, it's crazy. And if it's a 40, that's small. I heard 80s were pretty good, but basically what I'm finding out is 125 is your basically decent sized tank. It's big enough that you can move it around. It's a little under 60 pounds. It's pretty economical to fill. You know, you can get a 300, but then it weighs a ton. You know, it's pretty much a pain in the ass to try to roll it around someplace. So 125 seems to be the common size, but this should work. And the only thing else, when you, of course, when you do that, what you got to do is you got to switch these wires around down here. You switch them around, so it should be no problem, because you know, when your flux core, these are different. It tells you right on here, you know, what to do. So gas, no gas, right? So that's what's going on. So when there's gas, you got the ground is your negative. When there's no gas, the ground is your positive. So the center is the negative. So, you know, that's simple, but a lot of people, I guess, forget about doing that shit too. But and make sure when you put your wire in, you don't feed it this way. You feed it that way. And this tension's got to be just right. But this stupid Chinese thing works all right. But the next one I'm going to get probably is going to be a Hobart 125. But I think this thing's going to work out okay. Yeah, they got this pretty much figured out and jury rigged up pretty good. Can't wait, because I got some little spots down here, you know. I'm gonna cut this out, start putting some metal in there. I'm gonna learn on this thing. The El Camino 16 gauge, that'll probably work.